All right, we're going to look at some unique things that can happen with equations. The first thing we're going to do here, these are three definitions that I have never had a whole lot of use for. What I've been interested in is that you see that these odd things occur and that you know what they mean, but we'll go through them here. So if an equation has a solution, a true solution is called conditional. Now this identity is going to be one of the two weird things that can happen. Sometimes the variables just drop out of an equation and all you're left with is something like numbers. So if you get something, so all the I don't knows are gone, it's not there anymore, and I'm left with something that tells the truth. 8 equals 8. That's an identity. And what it means, this is what's mattered to me. I don't even know if I've ever cared about the name identity, but what I want you to know is that if this is all that's left, the variables dropped out, it means all real numbers. And sometimes you can have the variable drop out and you get something like this. The only thing left is numbers, and on the left and the right, and they're not telling the same thing. That's a lie. That's no solution. Now let's go through. We'll start to see some of these. So this has got a whole lot of cleaning up to do. We're going to clean up both rooms. There's a ton to do in this one. We're going to keep sweeping. Oops. Keep sweeping. And what we find is that when we try to put the ends back together, they disappear. And what we're left is something -3 equals -3, and there's no I don't know, no variable left in the equation. This is called an identity. Again, that's not super important to me, but what is that you understand that this is all real numbers. It means that the I don't know doesn't have anything to do with it, and any value that you put in there for n would make it true. Any number in the world would always make this true. Okay, now I think the more value here is trying to clean up something as messy as this. Let's try. So the first thing I've got to do is I've got to distribute. Okay, going to clean up the rooms. They're not clean. So over here I've got 27x minus 59 equals trying to see if I did something wrong because I thought we were going to get a particular one. No, I guess not. Okay, so I'm sweeping this up. Yeah, I don't understand. I was assuming we were going to go for an identity here. Hold on, 27x. No, I guess not. Okay, so yeah, so this is going to just have one solution. So I've got everything cleaned up in both rooms. I'm going to get the x's back together. That's always step 2. Okay, I've got the x's back together. Now I get them alone. So you want the factor story, all puzzle always to be last. So I've got 0 equals 3x. Now I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and I get x equals 0. Okay, so this was conditional. We found a true solution to this. Okay, I'd love it if you pause it just so you could practice equations this hard, but I'm going to start going through. Okay, now we've multiplied through. We've distributed all of these. Now there's a lot of cleanup to do. So I've got okay. Now I've tidied up both the rooms. Let's get the x's back together. And when we do that, something weird is going to happen. I get something like this. All the x's have dropped out. Now this is telling the truth. So it's an identity. But what I really care about is you see that this is all real numbers. Okay, let's see what's going to happen here. Yeah, not much. So I send that 4 through, I clean up and I solve this. This is nothing special, just that we get p equals 5/2. So this is conditional because we got an answer. Okay, let's see what they do to us here. I'm going to clean up this room on the left. Okay, I'm going to subtract, so I'm trying to get it down to this factor story here. Okay. Yeah, I guess all we're doing is that we're getting fractions here. Okay, now I'm going to get q alone, divide both sides by 11, and this is conditional. All right, pause it if you want to try. I'm going to go ahead and keep going. So I'm not done cleaning up this room here. Got some more to do. Yeah, I'm not sure why we keep getting simple things here. Not sure what makes this section unique if we don't get the odd ones, but okay, this is 201. Okay, now I've got it down to the factors, so I divide both sides by 14. I'm sure that's not going to do evenly. Yeah. So I'm sure that reduces, but I don't know what it reduces to. Double check this because I'm getting confused why we're not getting anything strange, but okay, that's the best I got. Okay, more of the same. So let's see if this one, so I'm cleaning up the rooms on the left, I distribute. Clean up the room on the right, I distribute. Now we're here, got our like terms together. Okay, we get down to this, the rooms are clean. We got to get the m's back together. When I do that, I subtract 14 from both sides, and I get something that is not telling the truth. 27 does not equal negative 22, so it's a contradiction. That is not a solution. So I should say this, it's a contradiction and it has no solution. All right, let's try another one. All right, put this together, we get 27c plus 25 equals 27c minus 12. So I've cleaned the rooms up. Now let's get the c's back together. And I'm left, they drop out. So I'm left with 25 equals negative 12, which is not telling the truth. So this is a contradiction, which means, which is the more important thing, there's no solution. There is no value of c that I could find to put into this equation that's going to tell the truth. It's going to be an answer. Okay, pause it if you want to try. We're going to do another one here, see what we get. 39d minus 26. Okay, my handwriting is always bad, but it really let me down on this one. Okay, the rooms are clean. I've got d's in both rooms, so I'm going to get them back together. And I'm left with 72 equals negative 26. That is not true. That is a contradiction. But more importantly, what it means is there is no solution for d that will solve this equation. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So what you can find is it's conditional if you just find a normal answer. It's an identity if all the I don't knows fall out and you've got something left that's telling the truth. But what that means, so like 15 equals 15, but what that means is that all real numbers could go in there and solve this equation. And lastly, the I don't knows fall out and you're left with something that's telling a lie. 7 equals 15, that's not true. So that's a contradiction and there's no solution.